this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're doing geometry and we have reached the end of geometry and we want to do some revision today. Now, hopefully this lesson, we want to bring it all together today. We want to bring all these rules that we've learned, mix them all up and see if we can identify them. Okay, it's very easy to do angle sum of a triangle when you know that every question is going to be using that rule. But when you start to mix these questions together, it starts to get a little bit more complicated. So it's very important that you practice all your questions all mixed around. So, question 1 says find the value of the pronumeral in each of the following giving reasons. So most of this topic we were finding values of pronumerals and giving reasons. So here it is. We have lots of questions doing just that. Okay, so we need to find the pronumeral and give reason for our answer. Let's see how we go. Now, if you're pretty confident, what you can do is you can pause the video now and you can try to do these questions yourself and then just use me afterwards, turn the video back on afterwards to check and see how you've gone or help you with anything that you get stuck with. Okay, so let's go through question 1. To find h, I'm going to have to add these two angles together here. H plus h is 2h. And I have a straight line here, which is the supplementary rule. So that means all of those angles are going to equal 180 degrees. So I'll take 180, subtract off the 84 that we know, which will give us 96 degrees. And then to get the h by itself, we will divide by 2. Gets rid of that. H is equal to 48 degrees. And we call that supplementary angles. Question 2. We have a very large angle and a slightly smaller one. But those angles are going all the way around a point. This is angles at a point. So to find K, angles at a point are always equal to 360 degrees. So I start with 360 and I subtract off the 131. 360 minus 131 is equal to 229 degrees because of angles at a point. C, we have some parallel lines. Okay, so which of the 3 rules are we going to be using for this question? Well, that angle and that angle form an F. So that is corresponding angles and they are equal. So 2B is equal to 74 degrees. I'll divide by the 2 to get rid of that. 74 divided by 2 means that we get 37 degrees. And then we write corresponding or angles for our reason. In D, we have a parallelogram, but we really just need to use the parallel lines here to see that this angle and this one form a C shape. They are co-interior. Now, co-interior means that those two angles will add to 180 degrees. So in order to find Y, I start with 180 and I subtract off the 115. So 180 minus 115 is 65 degrees because of co-interior angles. E, we have a triangle. We can use angle sum of triangle for this. Will be a little bit unusual because we have a w plus 10, but we'll put that on the left side of the equation by itself. W plus 10 is going to be equal to 180, that's our angle sum, minus 49 minus 86. So 180 minus 49 minus 86, we get 45. So that's w plus 10 though. We have to get rid of the 10 now so that we just have w by itself. So we can subtract 10 to do that, which means that w is actually equal to 35 degrees. And our reason, angle sum of a triangle. Okay, let's look at F. A four-sided shape is a quadrilateral. So I could use angle sum of a quadrilateral for this question. I need to add the m's together. M plus m is 2m. The angle sum of a quadrilateral is 360. And then I take away the angles that I know. So 140 and 140. So let's just work out what that is. 360 minus 140 minus 140 is 80 degrees. So to get the m by itself, we're going to divide the 2 away. So we'll get m is equal to 40 degrees. And our reason, angle sum of a quad. And finally, for this page, G, we have an exterior angle of a triangle here. So the interior angles added together, K plus 67, must be equal to the exterior angle. And we get that equation. So I can solve that to get the K, which means I have to subtract the 67 to do that. So I have to find out what 125 minus 67 is. And I get K is equal to 58. Okay, I need a reason, and I will write down exterior angle rule. Okay, I still have a few more questions here for you yet. We're not quite finished. On this next page, I have one more question here on finding pronumerals. There's actually 3 pronumerals to find in this one, A, B, and C. Let's start alphabetically. Let's start with A. Now A, got some nice straight lines here, is vertically opposite to 72. So that means that A must be equal to 72 because of vertically opposite angles. Okay, so that's one found. That means that I can now find B because I have an isosceles triangle. And that means that B must also be equal to 72 because it is a base angle of isosceles triangle. And now I want to find C. C is an exterior angle to this triangle. So I could find C by adding together A and B, which were both 72. So 72 plus 72, which makes 144 degrees, exterior angle rule. Okay, question 2. Seems funny to be saying question 2 after all the questions that we've done, but this is our second type of question where we want to do some congruence. So it says, consider the triangles below. State the test that could prove that these triangles are congruent. All right, so if we have a look for things that are the same, I have 51 degrees in both triangles. Beside the 51, I have 3.2 on one side and 5.3 on the other side. So this triangle has just been rotated around to get that triangle. So I have 2 sides and the angle in between, which is what we call SAS. So now that we know that they are actually congruent because of this test that we have here, we can write a congruence statement. So that's when we write triangle and we use the labels. A, B, C in the first triangle is congruent to triangle. Now A is at 51 degrees, so it corresponds with the H. B is, let's see, we have the 51 degrees and the 3.2. 51 degrees, 3.2 must be the J. So B corresponds with J, and C must correspond with the I. Okay, so there's our congruence statement. Which side is equal to BC? BC is across from the 51 degrees. So in this triangle, across from the 51 degrees is the JI. And D, write the angle that is equal to angle ABC. So in this triangle, angle ABC BC, we're talking about this angle in here. That angle corresponds to this angle in this triangle. So we need to give this angle a label. We'll call it angle HJI. Okay, that's it. That's the end of our revision today. I have a few challenge questions for you coming up next. So if you think you've mastered this topic, join me next time for a bit of a challenge. Bye for now.